hear the expression, God, I wonder what these streets would say if they could talk. Sarasota Street Talk is making the streets talk, and we're recording what they're saying. So that, to me, that is what Sarasota Street Talk is all about.
Sarasota Street Talk is to introduce people of the surroundings.
We're literally right now, we're downtown Sarasota, and we hear people all around us telling different stories. Those are the streets talking.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mark. How you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Afternoon.
It is what time is it now? Yeah,
It's
about 15
12:15,
after
yep.
12 on a very nice Saturday here.
Always
downtown
at the farmer's
Sarasota.
market. Yep.
Here on the corner of Lemon. I always have to look at the sign. Sorry. Lemon and Main Street. And right here in front of the Gator Club and Parker's Books, who graciously allow us to go ahead and do this here. My name is Mark Klecka. I'm a realtor here at Cola Banker here downtown. My partner in crime, to my right or left, is... I'm sorry, my left, your right. Wait, I got that backwards.
That's right. Doesn't matter. I know who I am.
Who are you?
Scott Maloff, mortgage broker at Summit Lending Solutions.
And together we are
Sarasota
Street Talk. Wow, that
and
was...
Starting next week, we're going to have other people do that.
I think so. Like, you'll join us with that.
We'll ask
I
people
think.
to get behind us and do that
Yeah,
or something.
absolutely. So
It'll be more fun than us doing it.
Whole purpose of this, just a real quick overview, is we're down here every weekend from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right here on the same corner, and just talking about Sarasota events, what's going on, and interviewing people right off the street. Like, this is what this is about. If the streets could talk, what would they say? Everybody here are the streets of Sarasota, and we want to hear from them. So, but then we also have guests that come on.
Scheduled people.
Scheduled people. We do. Scheduled individuals that grace us and come on and are extremely informative. And that's a great segue, Scotty.
Yes.
Into our guest here today. And we're so thankful to have the Mayor of Sarasota,
Hi,
Miss
Liz.
Liz Alpert. Thank you so much for coming on today with us.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me.
Let me go
Thank
here.
you.
Let me put that up a little bit. You got to get right up on
Right
it.
up there.
Right up on there. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so now it's... Do we have enough... Okay, the fan on you good? Is that enough?
It's
You
perfect.
could? Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
good.
It is, 12:15, May
is
4th.
12:15,
Little bit of heat.
Doing a timestamp here. So, yeah, 12:15, May 4th. And so we're going to jump right in. We've got some questions. I got some questions for you, but
No
don't be
kidding.
scared.
Tell me.
Don't be scared at all.
Well, you want to introduce yourself.
You know what? I'm
properly.
sorry.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
maybe
Yes.
we should do that.
Yes,
and,
why don't you go
so give us your name, Mayor, how long you've been on
Okay.
doing this and all that.
Well, I'm Mayor Liz Alpert, and I'm one of the 5 city commissioners in Sarasota. I've lived in the city from 2002 to now, and also lived here between 74 and 79, so I've got a long history of the city. And I've been on the city commission 9.5 years, so, and
So you know the city a little bit.
a little bit.
All right.
Been through a lot of changes in the city.
Yeah, and actually, somebody yesterday I talked to had been here like 30 years. And it's always interesting when we have people who've been here a long time, 20, 30 years, the different perspectives about the growth.
Yes.
And I've been here a whopping year and a half, so I haven't seen the old Sarasota.
Right.
How do you find the residents' opinions of what's gone on the last 20 years or whatever?
Well, I think, I think what's happened is that the things that are going on in the city, especially in
yeah,
the
but that's
downtown.
You know what? Actually, you don't mind?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my mic here.
Okay,
For
that's not
some
working,
reason,
huh?
it's not really picking it up real well.
Okay.
So, yeah, once you grab that one, Scotty, once you grab that one.
Hello?
Yeah, I think you really, once you take
Hello?
that
This one you just have to get more up on.
You just
it,
got to
maybe.
get up on that more. That one I think is going to be more enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be easier for you.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
That's,
There we go.
all right.
Not scripted and not in the studio.
See this?
Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, people can
great.
hear you better. See, this is why this is, not scripted. We're not in an air-conditioned studio. This is live, right on the streets. So this stuff's going to happen. Something wrong happens all the time, and it's fantastic.
How's
All
this?
right.
Am I
So
okay?
I'm sorry about that. So
That's
but
okay.
you got to get
No, you
right
gotta
up,
get-
literally
gotta-
like right up on it
have
like
the
that. Like,
sound, or it doesn't matter. You might as well not be talking.
right, you're right up on, like almost touch
Right.
your lips on there.
Okay.
I know it's weird, but
All right.
okay. So I'm sorry. So you interrupted. So I think it was his question was, Scott, your question
Just
was
about, well, how do you find the residences, different opinions about the growth? The people who've been here a long time, do you hear people grumble, or most people happy?
You know, I usually hear from the people who are grumbling. So, you know,
The happy people who come to you.
shiny,
No.
happy people
They-
holding hands.
I'm not hearing from them. But I think it's just been a little bit of a shock because the plans for the downtown have been in place since the early 2000s. It's a downtown master plan. And what happened is that once the master plan got into place, it takes a little while for projects to start coming forward. Then suddenly there was the real estate crash of the early, 2007, 2008, 2009.
Know that well.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
sure you do, Mark.
Yeah.
So nothing happened. And then after that, we came out of that crash. That was when pent up projects, some who had been on the drawing board all that time, started coming out of the ground. So now we have this just huge pent up demand for housing. We're one of the fastest growing areas in the nation, so people have gotten the word about Sarasota and what a great place
definitely.
it is,
Yeah.
and they want to move here, and so the market is accommodating that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you can kind of see that. Oh, I apologize. I didn't interrupt you.
No, I was just going to end with, but I've actually asked that we put on the city commission agenda, and we're going to be talking about it again soon, to actually look at the downtown master plan again, since it's over 20 years old, and see what we need to do to tweak it. But I think many, many good things have happened from it. For instance, we're sitting here at the farmers market. Lemon
example, yeah.
Avenue has been remade since I've been on the commission. I helped, I voted to help make that happen, that you have all the wonderful restaurants and shops in the downtown and the vibrancy, and that's
Absolutely.
because of the population density to support
Right, you
it.
need the people to spend their money at these places to have these places.
Yes,
Right?
yeah,
So-
yeah, exactly.
So when people, maybe complain about the residents' growth, they
Yeah.
don't realize without that residents' growth, we don't have as many restaurants and shops.
yeah, you don't have
And-
all these things to go to that everybody enjoys.
And you can kind of speak to this too. So SRQ expanding. So with the Legion coming in and a lot more gates, or what? 4 more gates going up there? 5? Or is
I
it?
don't
Gates going
know
to
how.
SRQ's growing.
We don't run the airport in the city. So
Right.
But but
Good
it's
point.
expanding just like crazy.
The
The
infrastructure's
number
getting
of
bigger.
flights coming in there have just ballooned, and so again, it speaks to how many people want to come here.
So
All right, Mark,
Okay,
you got
well,
some questions
we're
written
just going to
down.
go right through this, all right? So I did have a question, though. So this is a little bit, and just recently came up, and just see if you have an opinion on this. So we all have heard of the passing of Dr. Nick, of the art bikes.
Oh yeah.
So the
Yes.
art bikes around town, unfortunately, he has passed. Is there any, or have you heard of anything that's going on with those art bikes? I heard something from somebody that they're, in fact, because of the age of the bikes or for whatever reason, that Sarasota's going to start taking the bikes back or off the streets. Have you heard anything about that? Or?
I have not
And I'm
heard
not trying to
anything.
put you on the spot or anything. I
Yeah,
just didn't know,
I
yeah.
don't
No
know.
knowledge.
I hope not.
just did
you
now,
know.
I'm sorry.
I think I saw something that you suggested, Mark, that perhaps people will be willing to step up and
'Cause I've seen
quote
this-
unquote sponsor a bike.
Adopt
Sponsor,
a bike.
adopt a
Or
bike.
adopt a bike,
I'm
yeah.
in. I am
And
totally
I-
in. We've got a few people over
I
there.
think some of the people are in.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
Okay.
All
so,
adopt a
All right.
bike.
People standing around here
So
are
how do
volunteering
we?
already.
So how do we get that through to the
well, this is, well, let me
city,
say
right?
something
Yeah.
first,
All
though,
right.
before that.
Yeah.
This is the only reason why I even brought this up, because it was, again, I heard it from somebody else, but that I don't believe just, like a rumor someone might say. But then I have noticed different bikes disappearing. And
Yeah.
like, we've seen the same bikes here for years. So like the Ring a Bell for Peace bike over here on 5 Points, beautiful, like tandem, great bike. It's gone now. Like, I just don't know what was happening, or it was changed.
I
It was
will find
changed,
out
so-
for you, Mark,
and I've
and
seen
get
it-
back with you.
And a few other bikes
Yeah.
then too.
I'll find
so-
out and get back with you.
Because if that's a thing, we would love to. And if we
Adopt
need,
a bike.
if we need to do an organization
Yeah.
or some sort of a thing too, I'm happy to do that. Like to get different
yeah.
people to adopt different bikes. and maintain them and be our responsibility to keep them out if that's possible.
Well, let's
that's-
check into it
Okay.
and see.
I
Yeah,
mean,
'cause
I
I
mean, to
like
put you on the
I
spot, I
like
was
the
just-
idea.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's important that they're here, but
I loved going around
Well, people
town
come
and
and see
seeing
them.
those.
They talk
yeah,
about
they're-
it, like the
yeah.
little doors, right? I mean, it's kind of just a thing here.
it's a Sarasota thing. The
Yeah.
tiny doors, the art bikes, things like that. So it'd be a shame to see that go.
It's part of what makes us unique here is that we have things like that.
Question number 2. I want to make sure that I, just got these in here. So, also, what is the likelihood of possibly at some point in the future, it is if this even a possibility, from lemon to pineapple, this area here either for a certain period of the day or week being just pedestrian only, or would it ever become pedestrian only, do you think?
That question has come up over the years, and the conversation kind of has come and gone about that. I think that generally the retailers and the downtown, the downtown businesses don't seem to be in favor of it. The
Yeah.
last
They like the
I-
traffic,
yeah,
they like the flowing
they
traffic.
like people to be able to park in front of their place. But
Makes
I
sense.
will tell you, we're working on doing a series of workshops for people to attend and let us know what they'd like to see, how they'd like to see Main Street remade.
Oh,
Because we
excellent.
are going to be the east end of Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be enhancing that and improving that, and we want to know what people would want. We want wider sidewalks there, obviously.
Sure.
And to help make that end of town become just as vibrant as the west end.
Now, am I right with the parking changing a little bit? Because I noticed that I heard that they were going to be parallel parking as
It
opposed to.
It'll probably
Diagonal?
be parallel parking because that's the only way really to widen the sidewalks because of the amount of right-of-way we have to work with. And the other thing is that truthfully, parallel parking is safer than pulling in. I mean, I love just being able to pull in
Yeah.
and not try to parallel
Right.
park
But I guess
myself.
for everybody else
but,
around, it probably would be
but-
safer to have.
but there's
for
more,
everybody else,
there's
yeah.
more accidents from
diagonal.
people pulling out and
Pull out blindly, backing
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
exactly.
I totally see that. Okay, so that was a good one. Okay, next question. So I hear this a lot myself in real estate. People talking about how Sarasota, they're so fearful. Oh my God, all the development, it's turning into Miami. I for one myself, my opinion is it'll never turn into Miami, obviously, because it's not Miami, it's Sarasota. But speaking to the zoning side of things, won't allow that. Like so I guess my question is if you could speak to that then, like again, the way the zoning is set up, so they're not going to have 18-story buildings from the bay all the way to Gillespie Park. Right.
no.
So it's not going to happen. But you hear this, but I just would like you to speak to that a little bit and just let everyone know that we're
Yeah.
not ever turning into
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
here's the reason why.
there are zoning rules, and also number one, we're landlocked. We've got set boundaries for the city of Sarasota, so it's not like we're going to take and that there's going to be 18-story buildings or 10-story buildings in the single-family neighborhoods. You've got
Right.
single-family zoning.
Which allows for just a certain amount of stories and a certain
exactly,
density that you
and-
can't have
Right,
close to the bay.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, the zone, a lot of the zoning is in place. We have an overall comprehensive plan. But what we have done, which I think is a really, really good change, is for the commercial properties that are along the corridors like US 41 and Fruitville, for your commercial properties, you can now just do multifamily. You can do housing. Before you could do commercial or commercial plus housing, a
Right.
certain number. Now they'll be able to do housing only on those properties. And I think it's the perfect place for adding some more, housing for people who want to move here or people
Sure.
who are currently living here. This helps the residents as well, because if you increase the stock of places that people can buy and rent, that helps the prices come down.
Right. What's your thoughts on where probably here in Sarasota? Oh, and before I go on, I just want to mention too, we have Miss Liz Alpert here, the mayor of Sarasota. We were able to speak with her. Let's everyone give her a round of applause. She's doing a fantastic
Give
job.
a listen.
Miss Liz
Good
Alpert.
information.
Thank you so much for speaking with us here. So I'm taking this opportunity to, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I know these are just questions that have come up or I've heard about. I just kind of wanted to.
As a resident and
as a resident,
as a real estate agent and a mortgage person,
and as a human being.
It's good as a human being.
as a human.
In this great city of ours.
This great, fantastic city of
It
ours.
is. I'm so happy to be here.
Where do you think the attention most should be spent in Sarasota right now? Where's the focus? What's the issue that should be addressed in Sarasota right now, in your opinion? That
I think the thing that we
is that
hear.
what you just talked about, the housing, is that?
The affordable housing is huge. That's what we hear from everybody. Even more, secondly, the growth in the traffic, but the affordable housing, because people are just getting priced out of Sarasota. The average person, our workforce, businesses are telling us that they have a hard time recruiting employees and staff because they can find housing cheaper in another city and they can't afford to come here. They would love to, or they have to live so far out.
Right.
And then that adds to our traffic. That's part of the traffic
true.
mess. So
I imagine infrastructure is probably you hear about 75 being backed up forever at certain times a day as they build along that corridor, right?
Right.
So that's got to be.
It comes up,
something.
but the city, 75's not in the city, so we don't have control over that. But I will tell you, I'm on the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is a group of Manatee and Sarasota elected officials who we come together, about every other month or so, and we help decide the funding for the federal transportation dollars. So, we see what's coming through, what things are being planned along 75, and FDOT I think is working as fast as they can to try to alleviate that. That's why they're adding a diamond down at Clark Road, and so they're working on doing things to try to alleviate it. But the biggest thing is if we can get more workforce housing and people don't have to be driving 75 all the time to get to work.
Sure.
That will also help that.
I have a selfish personal
yeah.
question.
Well, that's so unlike you.
When we're talking about traffic,
Yeah.
can we make the light coming out of Central Park 2 not so bad? Like literally,
Can
I'm
you
trying
make
to
it
leave
not
my
17
complex.
minutes long?
If I want to leave my complex and turn left onto Tamiami
Scott, that's terrible.
and go
That's
either
terrible.
straight on Washington or left on Mound, I'm there for a week. So we need to work on that light, okay?
All right.
Also, so and I've heard rumors about this as well. So I don't know if in the future possibly. Is there any anything in the future possibly for a walkway over 41 to get to Marina Jacks at some point?
No.
Over that's not.
No,
ever
it's
been
not
brought
even
up.
in. It's
Okay.
been, it's been talked about in different places along 41. But number one, what they find is that people are still going to cross the closest place to them. They're not going to walk down to that walkway.
Yeah,
I mean, just
yeah.
it's not
And
human.
quite frankly,
it's
that
human
lights are
behavior.
good,
Yeah, yeah. And then, but that and the cost of them, and then you also have to have enough right of way because it's got to be ADA compliant, or else you've got to do elevators, which is expensive and cost. But that being said, I will say that the Bay is looking at a possible crosswalk maybe on 9th Street. So
Oh wow.
so that
Okay.
that in the future may be a possibility there, but not generally is it going to be something that we'll see. People just need to go to the light and cross at the light.
Okay.
There's plenty of areas to cross.
Yeah.
Any other selfish questions you want to ask, Scott? No.
Well, can we have a
no,
covered? Can we have a covered walkway when it snows?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they're working on that. It's going to take about 1,000,000 years to get that one passed.
Well, speaking of a million years, I just wanted to tell you, though, that the transportation projects that we work on, they take, going through the whole system, 10 to 15 or 20 years to
And that's what I was gonna
come to fruition. So nothing happens overnight. Okay.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that too. So people do a lot of complaining. They do, but they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There's procedures. There's ways that it has to happen. You can't just go, hey, you should do this, and why isn't the government doing that?
And everything they're building today was
something
projected in 2020.
Well, and
in
besides
2000,
that,
in about 2000.
Yeah,
So-
for the downtown. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Metropolitan Planning Organization, if you go on their site, mympo.org, if you're interested in the infrastructure, they've done a long-range transportation plan where they think the growth is going to be, what we need for that growth, and that's that it's projected out through 2050. So it's a really interesting document.
Right. No, and it's just there's a whole lot of time, for these plans too. So now I'm going to bring up something. So is there the circles?
Yeah.
I always bring up the circles. I love them.
Roundabouts.
I love them.
Modern roundabouts.
I love them.
Yeah.
So okay, hold on.
We've got
Hold
peanut
on,
gallery.
heckler.
Hang on
Hold
over
on,
there.
heckler.
Peanut gallery.
Wait.
From the
Yeah,
peanut gallery.
Hold on,
Hang
heckler. So is there has a certain period of time gone by where you've been able to get a good amount of feedback from those who are like, oh, those are never going to work. That circle's not.
Yeah.
Now they're like, hey, you know what? Hey, if there's an accident and you're going sideways and it's a sideways hit, that is better than a T-bone hit at
And
a
you're
light.
doing 10 instead
like
of
you're doing
40.
10 and you're not doing 50 and 40. Yeah, like is that
Exactly.
starting to happen? Are people starting to realize that the circles are not a bad idea?
I
Because
think
everybody has them
overall,
except Florida,
'cause
and
we're
they
not-
work.
Yeah,
They work.
they do. They're working really, really well, and we're getting much fewer complaints about them as people go through them, and you have to remember a lot of these accidents occur because it's user error,
Right.
not to, sometimes it's the road design, but sometimes it's user error, and they really are working well. They're safer. They cut down on 90% of fatalities.
So I cannot tell you how many times I've gone through the circle and sit there just waiting for someone in the circle, and they would come around and they'd stop right in front of me and angrily do this, like, come on, man. Like I'm holding up traffic. I'm like, sir, you've got the right of way.
Right away,
Like,
yeah.
You're the reason why people die, because you're doing exactly what you're doing. So
You just go.
just go.
That's it. Everybody just go.
One,
Right.
At some point, somebody's going to stop, and that'll be
right.
fine.
Yeah.
One thing to keep in mind: yield left. Yield left.
That's
it.
it.
That's all you got.
That's
That's
it.
all you got to do.
That's
I
all you
just don't
gotta- all you
understand why
gotta
people are so
know.
upset about
and
it.
when you have to stop, I don't know, if you've thought about it or noticed, but when you stop, you're stopped for much less time than if you're sitting at a light.
Oh, absolutely.
The
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's no doubt. Going
Yeah.
from
And that is so funny you
Going from
mention-
CP2 to the airport would take forever if you had to stop at lights.
Add
If you-
10
if-
minutes for the light at CP2,
It's
but you got to wait.
Well, no,
Because it takes
15,
10 minutes to get
10,
out of
I'd be
CP2.
happy if it's 10. But no, you're hitting. You could hit all the wrong lights and be sitting on
And
Tammy at 41 forever.
that is a great
So, no,
point,
it is,
because
it does make it flow.
People complain, and they complain about how, oh my God, it's so long. At those circles, it takes forever. Yeah, well, when you're back like 15 cars at a light, that takes forever too. I mean, eventually, in this at the circles, at least you flow.
It-
Like you
and if
flow.
it just
It
flows.
keeps
And if
going.
you're coming like on 41, if you're coming east-west, you're sitting because that light would be really long for the people going north and south on 41.
Right.
The people trying to get on 41, they would be back. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Getting onto 41 would
because
take forever.
everything is like
Kinda like getting out
it's
of CP2.
magical to watch it from the air, to watch how it goes.
Right.
So we're
Okay,
good on
again-
the circles.
Again, peanut gallery.
Everybody good on the
Heckler.
circles?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
I'm
want to
sorry.
clap
So
for
we
the
had a gentleman-
circles? Give it up for the circles. All
Yeah,
right.
everyone loves this. Yeah.
All right, we have a question.
All right, so again,
Peanut
hold
gallery.
on. So again, once again, I just want to mention that we have Ms. Liz Alpert here.
Our mayor.
The mayor of Sarasota is speaking with us, taking the time. Thank you. Thank you so much for the job that you're doing and taking the time to just have a few
thank you.
moments with us here and speaking with us. We do have a heckler here to my right. They would like to ask you a question, so I'm going to move over and once you take the seat.
Mama, me, I don't want to spill your beer.
No, you're not. There's no beer there.
So Mayor, nice to meet you. So two
Nice to
things.
meet- yes.
Two things. One is I'm from Carmel, Indiana,
Yeah.
the home of 360 circular deals.
Yeah.
It made 60 minutes.
Yeah.
You should. There's federal dollars to do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So seriously, it
Good.
helps exactly what you said. It's continuous flow. It's beautiful. Number 2 question, and then I'm gonna turn it over to my lovely friend
Rafael,
here.
we took the
So,
place.
what about the homeless?
Well, I am really happy to report. When I got
Tell me.
when I got on the commission in 2015, the big issue was the homeless. I mean, there was just that was the issue of the day. How are we going to deal with it? And there was a big controversy about whether do we need a homeless shelter? Do we need to build a homeless shelter? Or do we follow a housing first program? When I got, when I got on, we opted to do housing first, okay? I don't have the numbers for 2015, but in 2018, 3 years later, there was still 1,106, and it was more than that in 2015, homeless on the streets of Sarasota. Today, there are 80. 80. We have reduced it from 2018, 77%, and I'm going to guess from 2015 when I got on, could have been as much as 80, 85%.
That's fantastic.
No.
Yeah, it's
Very
the
nice.
housing first has been. In fact, our police chief Trochet was speaking this morning about how other police departments from around the country come and shadow our police department to see how we've done this, and it's been amazing.
No, that's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I don't mean to. I do want to ask you one more question
Yeah.
before we wrap this up. Is your reelection?
Yes.
So
you.
please.
You're preparing me for
Yeah.
the forums. Thank you.
Please go ahead and tell us a little bit about that and how we can participate and how we can help.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm running for re-election. Right now, I only have one opponent, so the election will probably be in November. If I get another one, there'll be a primary in August, and then the election again in November. And you can go to my website, votelizalpert.com. I'm looking for volunteers, especially really need a tech person, but volunteers who are willing to canvass neighborhoods, make phone calls and things like that. And of course, we always need
Did you say it's vote Liz Alpert?
votelizalpert.com.
to go to help support your
Thank
your
you.
re-election. So again, Ms. Liz Alpert here speaking with us, and I believe you had a question
I
real quick,
do
and then
have
after
a
that
question.
we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you. I am a very hard life situation. I have 2 teenagers, so I have a private question.
Okay, that's right there, right there. That's enough. I've dropped the mic.
That's called a first world problem.
Yeah,
It is.
drop the mic.
I can do this. I can do this. So, 14 and 15-year-olds, they are trying and starting to go out themselves. So, how do you imagine? And I'm worried about them. Okay, they are going out alone. I am not there. How do you imagine the future young generation's life here in Sarasota? Because I feel we are equipped for the retired people, right? They are having fun. But how do we support the younger generation? How is the future of Sarasota for those people?
Well, that's definitely one of the things that we're always trying to look at. And one of the things is affordable housing so that they can stay in our community. And also there's been a lot of push by the business community, the commission. We're all working together to try to make sure there are jobs for them here. So, because that goes hand in hand. So, bringing in tech companies, because this is a perfect place to have tech startups and tech businesses. And, there's a huge healthcare industry here. And I read the other day, 10%, almost 10% of our workforce is in the construction industry. So there's there are lots of jobs. We want to make sure we have jobs for people when they come in, when they start growing up in our community, because we'd like them to be able to go to our colleges. We have 5 colleges here. People don't often know that. They can go or go to a tech school and be able to afford to stay here and live and work just like all the rest of us.
Absolutely. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Very
Great
good.
answer.
You know what?
Great question.
Great
Susan,
questions, guys.
Thank you.
Then thank you
all
again.
the way around.
All the way around. Yeah, good
And-
questions.
And we got
Thank
the
you.
information. I'm sorry, I was away for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got displaced.
Yeah. Well, you had
We
business.
got all
you
your
had some stuff to
information.
do.
I heard it from over there, though. You got all your information out about re-election.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So her
Just wanna make
campaign.
sure.
So anybody
wanna make sure.
vote Liz Alpert. Excuse me, sir.
Liz.
Do we need to call the police? No, I'm kidding.
All right. And we're not
no.
going to put her on the hot seat because we don't do
No,
that.
no. We
mayors.
do that across the board.
Oh, you do it then. I'm not doing
I'm
this.
kidding.
I'm not doing
No,
it.
so vote lizalpert.com to go ahead and I imagine you could go and volunteer through the
Yes.
site. You can donate through the site. You can get all the information through the site. So anything
Correct.
to help you there
Thank you so
right
much.
through the site, right?
Yep.
So, again, vote lizalpert.com. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on,
you,
Liz.
as always.
you.
Great to
Always a
see
pleasure.
Thank you.
Always a
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank
Anytime.
Give it up for the mayor.
Yep, give it up for the mayor of Sarasota.
We should have
Thank
like
you
a.
thank very,
They
very
should
much.
be 10 deep here. It should be 10 deep
Thank
here.
you
I don't
all.
understand
Appreciate
it.
it.
No, it's
Thanks.
good. Thank you. Oh, my God. See, that's
A lot of
this,
information
a
today.
lot of information crammed
gonna
into a
adopt a
short
bike.
30-minute period
I'm going
right
to
there.
adopt a bike to go along with all the kids.
We're going to go adopt a bike.
Kid.
We're going to go get up onto votelizalpert.com, and
Yeah.
we're going to go and support her there.
Very good.
And then we're going to find out and explain everything about this not turning into Miami. We got so much information just now.
Yes, that was very good.
That's awesome.
So all 3 guests were great today.
Oh no, this was
Right?
a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
All right, so
So
let's
we
stretch.
are going to go ahead and wrap it up. We're going to go
We're
and stretch
gonna
because we're
stretch,
old,
and then we have one more guest.
and we have another guest.
And this is what the show is all about. Somebody
Yep.
that we did not schedule, that we just met today, who's an artist right
Yep.
here, and we're going to talk to him in about 5 minutes.
a local. Yep. So we're going to go up
Right.
and get some juice,
some
and
juice
we'll be
and-
back shortly.
What else?
Make good choices. All right, everybody.
All right, we'll be right
so
back.
be back in 2 and 2.
All right.
Bye.